Hey, we're live. All right,
Awesome.
welcome everyone to the second Minneapolis Running Live Google Hangout. Tonight I am joined with Jon Peterson of Team USA Minnesota. Hello, John. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Very good, very good. How was your day today? Did you guys do a workout?
Today was easy run. Actually, we went out for Wacky Wilderness Wednesday. Just a couple of people on the team. Try and get a few trails in every now and then, and it turned out to be very wacky, I have to say.
What makes Wacky Wilderness Wednesday wacky?
Mostly conversation, stuff going on, and everyone's heads coming together, and a lot of stupid things I say. And today there was quite a bit of flooding where we were at. So once we got about 4 miles out, we decided to take a chance with the what looked like a little bit of mud was way more mud than what it turned out to be, and
Okay.
I think a few of us almost went down.
Nice, nice. Where were you guys at doing that?
Over at Sibley House.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very
Yeah, we
cool.
almost lost Megan Payton on one of those.
Oh, that's not good. She just won the Brian Kraft, right?
Yes.
Okay. Very cool. Were you in that one as well?
No, I was not.
Okay. You were just coming off the Oxy High Performance meet though, as I have here in my notes,
Yes.
where we were just talking about you ran a 14:08, which is not you were saying not great for you. Talk a little bit about that. Why is that not great, or what times are you shooting for in the 5K?
Well, my current PR is 13:41, and to me that's about 3 years old now. So anything above that is not, I don't want to say not worth my time, but more so just you always strive for more and looking to hit an A standard, which is 13:32. And so going out to that, and obviously there's a lot of time and money spent into that. That's not always just mine, but the team's money and stuff like that. And you're looking at trying to help a teammate along as well. So Eric Finan, it was just a rough go all around for most of the field. I myself was sick at the time and going out to some pretty bad LA air. It was not helping at all.
Yeah, maybe if you'd been in the cool, clean, crisp air of Minnesota, you would have come close to that 13:41, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Are you kind of focusing on the 5K right now, or what is sort of your ultimate race distance?
Yeah, so 5K is ideal. I was hoping to get in a 10K or so somewhere along the road, but with just kind of coming back from injury not too long ago, it's kind of been up in the air in terms of a season. So it's kind of hard to get a decent 10K on the track just because I feel like it's either hit or miss for a 10K.
Yeah, that seems like that'd be a much more difficult thing to train for, especially coming back from an injury. Is that I know that we had talked last fall about you'd had some injury kind of right around was it the Pittsburgh race?
Yes.
Right around was that still that same kind of lingering
Yeah.
injury you're dealing with?
So one of the things was it was a hip flexor causing
Okay.
some issues. Took a while. I was done with that around January, but then right after I hit a workout too hard and I busted a metatarsal somehow in some way, and that
Oh,
just took forever to heal as well. There's no fracture, but I'm guessing it was either a ligament or a tendon that just didn't cooperate for the longest time. And doing the stationary bike as long as possible, while it's negative whatever out, it's not exactly exciting.
yeah, I know. That's one of those things that just makes you all that much more strong, right? When you're
Yeah.
having to brave the
Hopefully,
Minnesota winter. Yeah. So
plan.
that's actually maybe a good transition. So you were originally from California. Why in the world did you move to Minnesota to do your training in the frozen tundra?
There's a number of factors. Graduating from college, I sat down with my collegiate coach, and he gave me this list of training facilities that were around. Minnesota came up, and I think it was the first one he mentioned. Like, oh, if you stand the cold, you can go here. They have a pretty decent team. And I
If you can
think that
stand the cold.
might have triggered in my head, like, challenge accepted sort of thing.
Yeah, totally.
Uh, but I did get a chance to check out a few other groups, and just overall, I liked what I saw here. Not just in terms of training, but what was outside of training. And for me, that was a huge just benefit for myself because if training wasn't going well, then I needed something outside of that to escape it. just as much as I needed, something to go along with training, post my career as a runner as well as just life in general.
Sure. What are some of those things that you see as being outside of training that the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul kind of have that maybe some of those other places didn't?
Well, I come from Davis, California. It's where I graduated from, and so it's a pretty small community, which is great because during summer, pretty much the town shrinks about half the size because everybody leaves. But outside of training, it would have gotten pretty rough. But it seems like even here, like as much as everything's kind of focused around training, a lot of my friends are runners. Everyone's involved with the running scene. It doesn't seem like that's the end all be all sort of thing. There's always something to do outside of that. Pretty close friends with. I mean, right away when I moved here, I became close friends with a number of people, not just people on team, but there's a number of different interests that are going on, and I think just the active lifestyle in general here is amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely a very, very active community. I mean, I think it was USA Today is like fittest place in the country or something like that this last year. So that's cool. What are some of those things that you like to do outside? I guess running. Do you have other hobbies, or when you're a elite distance runner, is pretty much you just eat, sleep, breathe, and run? Is that
Surprisingly, it gets old very quickly. So I do have a day job, which I work over at Runner Fun.
okay?
Get as many hours there that doesn't compromise my training, as well as to make decent living while I'm chasing a dream at the moment.
Yeah.
I've coached at both Edina as well as Holy Angels for their cross team, so that's enjoyable as well, just because I'm able to give back a little what I know in terms of my passion and give forth whoever kind of has that same wide-eyed look I had as a kid myself.
Yeah, for sure. That's something that I think is really cool about Team USA, Team USA Minnesota as a whole, is there really does seem to be a community of volunteerism kind of component to that. Is that something that you think is really encouraged from the kind of the team, I guess, top-down kind of perspective on giving back and whatever that might be? If it's, I know you guys volunteer at events and do stuff with some of the TCM kids running stuff. Would you say that that's kind of or maybe was a draw for you to come as well?
I really wasn't aware of everything that we do in terms of kind of giving back to the sponsors as well as the community, but to me that was a huge plus when I realized that TCM wants us out at these kids events, or TCRC wants us out to go for a run with even with random community members. It's just nice to get involved with both giving back what you get, as well as just you can just really connect with a lot of people that way.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know that it's been at the Flapjack 5 Mile, which is Fridays at 6:30 a.m. at Mill City Running. It's been fun to run with some of you guys, just doing what for you is a very casual, easy morning run, and then you all go off and do another 5 or 10, whatever. But I think that's one of the great things about running, is that you can have people at all ability levels that just enjoy the same thing and are involved in the same activities. Obviously at different levels, but yeah, that's one of the things I really enjoy about running. When we talked a little bit earlier, kind of going back, but 5K, 10K, I know that you've done the 10 mile. When you approach your training, are you focused on a single race, or a single distance, I should say, or are you kind of working your way up to maybe the focus on the marathon at some point?
Marathon is definitely the goal in a couple of years. For now, just seeing what I have in terms of speed on the track, mostly. And it goes by season, falls more roads and stuff like that. Maybe get a cross race somewhere just for the strength of cross itself. And then spring is very easy to get into the track mode, which is great because then you can feel the different gears. But for now, looking at stuff on the track, mostly mile to 10K, depending on what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And you're I won't list all of them, but a rather decorated high school and collegiate athlete, both in cross country and in track. Do you have a preference in terms of where kind of you like to run, be that trails, road, a track?
Yeah, I mean they're both different beasts, so it's really hard to
Yeah.
compare. And it's definitely very different on the post-collegiate level versus collegiate level because there's two very defined seasons and a third if you're doing indoor. But there's easy. It's easier to transition from that because then you're focusing on one season and into the next. Whereas I can do anything from a road mile one day into like a 10
Once it gets
mile or
canceled.
sorry 10K on the track to half marathon or so on and so on the road. So
Yeah,
it all really depends.
sure. So you mentioned kind of the marathon is the goal someday, and I know a while ago you and I had talked, I think during a run, and just about kind of working up to that. Can you talk a little bit about that? What that means at the elite level? A lot of people jump into the marathon, and that's maybe their first or second race that they've ever done. But at the elite level, you can't really do that. You can have to work up to it. What does that look like?
I haven't looked specifically into it. Just knowing what I know about my body and stuff like that is I'm looking at a gradual build up so that I can peak, so to say, at that distance. I'm not looking to go out and just kind of not to say anyone does otherwise, but to fine tune everything so specifically, it takes a lot of work and just a lot of grinding away, slowly chipping at that stone.
Yeah, for sure. It's a beast, an absolute beast. But you guys are still running quite high volume in your week, even at, training for a 5 or 10K, right?
Yes.
What does
Um,
a normal week look like?
right now, it's still relatively low, just because one we're adding a lot of sharpening in there, so there's a lot of quality work in there, and don't want to overdo it. Dennis's thing is definitely undertrain versus overtrain, because maybe you're not as fast as you like to be, but at the same time you don't want to be the fastest person in the stands. Um,
I
so
like
yeah,
that. You don't want to be the fastest
yeah.
person in the stand. Yeah.
Um, so right now I'm just about like 80 to 90. A lot of my summer build up mileage is looking at 110 to 130 on a given week, and those are definitely the weeks where I definitely sleep the best.
Yeah. Are you um, are you the type of runner that just cherishes their sleep and does everything in their power to, get your 9.5 hours or whatever it is that you guys get? Or
I'm good with the standard 8.
okay.
I'm very much an early riser, and I can stay out on a given night if something special is going on or whatever have you. But I do like my routine because another kind of benefit slash trade-off of post-collegiate training is you're on your own schedule. So either make a schedule or you don't. And I think making one is much better than not.
Yeah, definitely. I think, as humans, we're creatures of habit and like to have some kind of schedule and
Yeah.
routine and normalcy to kind of what we're doing. One thing I wanted to ask you about in the post you wrote for us, oh gosh, I think back in January, you talked about honoring thy mother's cooking. Um, and one of the, obviously kind of the idea behind that was just, thinking about what you're putting in your body, food-wise. Do you have a pretty set nutrition schedule or regimen that you follow, or are you just mostly kind of getting just good quality food, not being too picky about it?
Yeah, I would just say for the most part, I'm kind of sporadic in terms of what I cook. But it is just very generally, you're looking at a meat, usually chicken, just because it's cheapest and it's easy to like, you do so much different things with it. And
Very
then just
versatile food.
yeah, some sort of veggie and a starch if you like. But I'm trying to do better in terms of not eating to where I'm full, because I think as an athlete I've kind of always been trained that, especially being a guy. Nutritionists always tell guys that you can't eat enough, so keep on packing it on. But at the same time, you have to be a certain, um, I guess, weight, so to say, in terms of performing your best. Obviously, I want to be under, but again, it doesn't help always to be over.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I forget the conversion, but I saw somewhere like for every X number of pounds you have kind of above whatever your ideal weight is, it slows your pace down by a certain percentage. And if you're a non-elite, it doesn't matter as much as if, you're trying to shave off, 29 seconds off of a 5K time, which is
Yeah.
pretty, pretty,
Yeah.
pretty significant. But so when you're not cooking at home, where do you like to go out to eat? Do you have favorite places in the Twin Cities that
I have
can't get
many.
enough of?
I could sit here all night and discuss that, really. Uh,
The local is
Indeed,
one
the
of them.
local.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah,
As well.
yeah.
Really, I mean, just there's so many foodie places out here. I mean, one of my, dark secrets, actually, it's not a very dark secret, but
Oh, here it
the
comes.
Juicy Lucy, or Bluesy,
Oh,
I guess you call it. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And
yeah.
if anybody who knows me, no matter where I go, I'm pretty much throwing Tabasco on something. So,
Wow.
yeah. So I mean,
Does that have a
it's spicy.
training benefit to it?
Not that I know of, but I'll say it is. And so if Tabasco wants to throw something my way, I'll endorse it.
Yeah. That could be a very good endorsement deal, having kind of flames coming
Yeah.
out, the back of you as you run or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'll carry a utility belt of it if they need me to.
Yeah, totally. I think we should reach out to them. I think after this interview, they're going to be very
All right.
interested in sponsoring Jon Peterson.
Yeah. I mean, it saves me $4 or so every 2 weeks, so.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. Yeah, but you do have a deal, right?
Yes, I'm with Brooks. I'm under the ID program.
Yes. Okay. And how does that, if you don't mind asking, how does that work? I know I've talked to a couple of you guys about that. They provide you with stuff, and you basically run fast in it. And
Yeah. So you're looking at ID specifically, or just shoe companies in general, or just companies?
I think just kind of companies in general, or I guess for you, you kind of go out and look for sponsorship deals and kind of have to figure out, what obviously makes sense for you and what do you, support and like.
Yeah.
And who's gonna, help support your training.
Yeah, definitely. Number one thing is, as an athlete, looking for something that I myself believe in. So anything that comes my way or anything I'm able to get my hands on, I want to make sure that it's something that I could fully and support, get behind. And beyond that, you're looking at just a lot of networking in terms of how can I make the brand look good? How can the brand make me look good? I myself am working on something just in terms of my own marketing for myself as an athlete, and that's always a continuous process. Say if I were to join someone else, but in terms of overall brands and stuff like that, every time you see someone on Twitter like show their socks or what have you, there's definitely a reason behind it.
For sure. Are you ready to share what you're working on? I know that we've talked about it a little bit.
So it's kind of been within like a small circle.
Okay.
Just
We don't have to.
I don't know how much I want to explain it, because if I explain it, it's not as good a joke. But
I
guess
guess
I'll
we
mention.
can keep the mystery. We can keep the mystery then.
Okay, then I'll keep the mystery. Yeah, that's fine
Okay,
too.
Yeah. Well, it's at some point there'll be a grand reveal of what
Yeah.
John is working on.
Hopefully.
So yeah. So what do you have coming up? What's on tap for kind of your next races or your next kind of stuff that you have, even training wise?
Yeah. So I'm actually looking forward to change on the gears quite a bit. Been working on quite a bit of speed. So next Thursday, heading out to Concord, Massachusetts for the Adrian Martinez Classic in the mile. I don't want to say I'm in sub 4 shape, but again, that's always the goal. Closest I've come to it is a 342.7 or so in the 15, which is pretty much 4 flat. So that's the goal, and that's where I'm going to aim. I don't know if I'll hit it, but that's where that's kind of the mentality I have to go into it with. After that, that's just basically something to turn the wheels right before I go out to Portland for the 5K again.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's awesome to have big, hairy, audacious goals like that, because you're more likely to hit them then if you got that.
Yeah.
So, and you said that was in Massachusetts?
Yes.
Okay. How much how much traveling do you guys do on an average, like in a month? It seems like I'm on Twitter and social media and through the newsletter that gets sent out, it seems like you guys are always somewhere.
Yeah, it really just depends on where you're at in your season. And definitely some of us travel more than others. But I would say in a given month during season itself, longer distance guys probably be about 3 times a month or so, just to get in between different stuff. Whereas if you're someone like Heather who's doing some like quicker stuff, so miles, so better, quicker to recover from, she can. I mean, I think one week she traveled 3 or 4 times within the week.
Wow, that's crazy. Do you enjoy the traveling, or would you prefer to kind of stick in one?
I don't mind it. I don't like traveling just because there's mass quantities of people who
Okay.
all kind, and it's. I'm sure I look the same just in terms of that, just because you're trying to get to some place and everyone else seems to be in your way. So that's I try to be as courteous as possible, but there's definitely certain what's the word I'm looking for? Just mannerisms you shouldn't do while traveling. You see a lot of
Yes.
those.
Yeah, for sure. I think that airports bring out the worst in
Yeah.
people. No
Yeah.
matter how
Etiquette.
nice of a person you are. Yeah, etiquette. There you go.
Proper
That's
etiquette.
yes, definitely, definitely. Um, so you're going to Massachusetts. You said that was when was that?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Okay. And then the pre-classic is, or wait, no, that's what
Portland
week
Track
is
Festival.
that? Oh, that's when that. And when is that?
That is the Saturday after, which I believe
Okay.
is the
Like the seventh or sixth or something? Eighth?
14th or so.
Oh, that week.
15th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, weekend
Nice.
after. Yeah, so yeah.
Nice. That'll be fun. Um, when you so one of the things when I've talked to some other athletes is they talk about, the traveling is great, and like when I talked with Will Lear and Heather a couple of weeks ago, sometimes the only thing they get to see is the hotel, the car ride to the track, and then the car ride back. When you travel place, do you try to get out and take in a little bit of whatever the local culture or local scene is, or are you pretty heads down, focused on your race?
It depends on how long the stay it is. If it's just in and out, it's pretty much heads down. Um, and also a lot on the climate. LA, I was definitely in the hotel as long as possible, just trying to stay cool.
Yeah.
Whereas the last year we went to Edinburgh, we definitely, I mean, we're there for 2 days or so before the race, and so we definitely got out and we had to move around. Otherwise, you kind of get stagnant, and I feel like that's even worse than kind of wasting a little bit of energy to go out and do stuff.
Yeah. Did you like Edinburgh as a
Yeah, it
city?
was lovely. It was great.
Yeah, it's a really cool place. One of the most unique places I think I've been in the world.
Yeah, I mean the travel isn't great, but you got to get there somehow.
Yeah, whatever works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, John, I appreciate your time here. What other things I guess would you say about you make you I don't know, a unique runner, or maybe stand out different from maybe other runners, whether that be your approach, something about your personality. You mentioned the jokes and stuff you're making during today's workout. What else should people know about Jon Peterson, the runner and the person?
Oh, geez. Yeah,
How's that for a loaded question to
yeah.
wrap things
In terms
up?
of the jokes and stuff, a lot of times I'm just completely scatterbrained, and you'll be having a conversation, and I'll like chime in with whatever movie quote or what have you, and a lot of times just over the head for everyone else, and I'm laughing to myself. So if I look crazy, I might be a little bit, but I try to play it off
Yeah.
as no big deal. And I like to think I'm a nice guy, but I don't know, not always. I do try to give back to the community and stuff like that I live in. Not just that, and also, I mean, the running community in general. I've always tried to put as much of that of myself into it as possible. Um, yeah, that's what I'm trying to work with TCM on a few different things as well, just in terms of a couple different kids programs with that. Just very rough draft right now, but we're discussing things like that. And just in general, I mean, any kind of food, I'm pretty much in.
Any kind of food, did you say?
What's that?
Any kind of food, did you say?
Yeah, any
Okay.
kind of food, and also, I mean, if you really know me, you know how much I love breakfast. So
Oh,
uh,
it's the best. It's the best, most important meal of the day.
it really is. You can't start your day without it. There's nothing after that. Can make up for a good breakfast.
Absolutely. We could tangent off of this for a long time, but
Yeah.
what's your go-to breakfast? Like, I'll give you a couple different options. So, like in a pinch, so if you don't have a lot of time, And then on the opposite spectrum, like a lazy, Saturday, Sunday after your workout's done, like what's your just ultimate breakfast?
So eggs are always in it. Usually I have enough time to come back and make some sort of, egg tacos, either with like meat and whatever cheeses I can round up. Throw whatever, anything that's in the fridge that, needs to get taken care of, I'll throw that in there pretty much. And that's the easy, quickest way to go. If I'm, making it on the go before I go to work out to have afterwards, usually throw some bread around it, and there we go, it's a sandwich.
Very versatile food.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's quick, it's easy. But if, I'm sitting down and, making a breakfast, and I'm going, waffles, hash browns all the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fats go in a heavy amount of syrup.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think syrup is good because it kind of makes everything taste a little better,
Yeah, you kind of accidentally pour some on the eggs and whatnot, and you're like, whoops.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't have this very often anymore, but in college and even a few years after college, the Tremendous 12 at Perkins was like, the ultimate breakfast meal. I don't know if you've consumed that recently.
Not at Perkins. I did recently go to the Santorini's brunch, and that was, I have to say, I highly recommend it, though it's very costly.
Yeah, it's not, I wouldn't say the Perkins meal, it's not like necessarily a standout breakfast. Like I wouldn't recommend it. Like if someone's saying, hey, where's a good breakfast place? I wouldn't say go to Perkins and get the Tremendous 12, but from a large volume of breakfast food, it's got
or per capita, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, per capita. So, nice. Well, I think you're still there.
Yep.
Okay, your picture just went away, but that's okay. Well, John, thanks again for taking some time to chat here. We'll definitely be wishing you luck. And can you just say the dates of your next meet, the one in Massachusetts again?
That is the 5th.
Okay. We will definitely be rooting for you, and
Thank you.
sure, and let us know how you do.
Will do.
Awesome. All right, John. Well, you have a great night, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks a
Bye.
lot, John. Bye.